Hey there, Kipsters. Happy Thursday. I'm so excited that you tuned in to our YouTube playlist today and are joining me in growing your brains through reading. All right, let's get started. Kipsters, we've been spending a lot of time these past couple weeks talking about characters. Today, we're once again going to use clues in the words and the pictures to help us describe a character. Remember, describe means that we tell what they're like. We're going to look at what the character does, says, and feels to help us describe them. So, listen to me describe Irene in Brave Irene. Irene says right from the beginning that she's going to help her mom. That tells me that she's helpful and kind, right? She faces a lot of challenges, but she never gives up. That tells me that she's determined. Even when she gets stuck in the snow, she keeps going. That tells me that she's brave. Based on what Irene says and does in this book, I would describe her as helpful, determined, kind, and brave. Kipsters, did you see how I took a look at what Irene says, does, and feels in this book to come up with some really good describing words to tell what she's like? That's going to be your job today. We're going to take another look at Gilberto and the wind. We're going to pay careful attention today, not just to Gilberto, but also to the wind. Because in this story, the wind is a character too, and it also does things which help us describe it. Let's take a look. Okay, Kipsters, so as we read today, remember we're listening for clues that'll tell us some good adjectives to use to describe the characters. Remember, adjectives are our describing words. We're going to pay attention not just to Gilberto today, but also to the wind as a character. I know it's kind of funny to think of the wind as a character, but in this story, the wind kind of acts like a character, right? The wind says stuff and does stuff just like Gilberto does. So we're really focused on what each character does and says in the story today. Gilberto and the wind. I hear wind whispering at the door. You, he whispers, you. So I get my balloon and I run out to play. At first, wind is gentle and just floats my balloon around in the air. But then, with a jerk, he grabs it away and carries it up to the top of a tree. Wind, oh wind, I say, blow it back to me, please. But he won't. He just laughs and whispers, "Phew." Wind loves to play with the wash on the line. He blows the pillow slips into balloons and shakes the shirts and twists the apron strings. And he pulls out all the clothespins that he can. Then he tries on the clothes, though he knows they're too small. And wind loves umbrellas. Once, when I took one out in the rain, he tried to take it away from me. And when he couldn't, he broke it. If the gate in the pasture is left unlatched, wind plays with that too. He opens it up, then bangs it shut, making it squeak and cry. Wind, oh wind, I say, and I go and climb on. Give me a ride. But with me on it, the gate is too heavy. Wind can't move it at all. When the grass is tall in the meadow, Wind and I like to race. Wind runs ahead, then comes back and starts over. But he always wins because he just has to run over the top of the grass, and I have to run through it and touch the ground with my feet. When the big boys on the hill have kites to fly, Wind helps them out. Wind carries their kites way up in the sky and all around. But when I have a kite, Wind won't fly it at all. He just drops it. Wind, oh wind, I say, I don't like you today. When the apples are ripe in the fall, I run with wind in the pasture and wait under the tree. And wind always blows one down for me. And when I have a boat with a paper sail, wind comes and sails it for me, just as he sails big sailboats for sailors on the sea. And when I have a pinwheel, wind comes and plays too. First, I blow it myself to show him how. Then I hold it out or hold it up, and wind blows it for me. And when he blows it, he turns it so fast that it whistles and sings, and all I can see is a blur. Wind likes my soap bubbles best of all. He can't make the bubbles. I have to do that. But he carries them way up into the air for the sun to color. Then he blows some back and makes me laugh when they burst in my eyes or on the back of my hand. When the leaves have fallen off the trees, I like to sweep them into a pile. But then wind comes along. And just to show that he can sweep without a broom, wind scatters the leaves all about again. And he blows the dirt in my face. Sometimes wind is so strong, he starts breaking the trees and knocking down fences. Then I'm afraid. I run in the house and lock the door. And when wind comes howling after me and tries to squeeze in through the keyhole, I tell him, no. But then comes a day when wind is all tired out. Wind, I whisper. Oh, wind, where are you? Shh, answers wind, and he stirs one dry leaf to show where he is. So I lie down beside him, and we both go to sleep under the willow tree. The end. Kipsters, thank you so much for reading that story with me. Now we're going to pay attention to the characters and answer some questions that are going to help us describe them using our good adjectives. Okay, let's go back. Before we start answering these questions, I want us to think about the wind as a person. Remember when we started reading this book earlier today, I said that the wind acts like a character. He acts like a person in the story. How does the author make the wind seem like a person? What does the wind do that makes him seem like a person in this story? Go ahead and answer. Yeah, I heard some really good ideas. The wind talks, he whispers, he plays, he laughs, right? The wind does a lot of human-like things. The wind does a lot of things that people would do. Now I want to go back to a specific page, and I want us to think about how the wind feels on this page. I'm going to reread it. We're thinking about how the wind feels on this page, because remember, in this story, the wind kind of has feelings. Wind likes my soap bubbles best of all. He can't make the bubbles. I have to do that. But he carries them way up into the air for the sun to color. Then he blows some back and makes me laugh when they burst in my eyes or on the back of my hand. How does wind feel on this page? Think about a good feeling word and call it out. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Nice. I heard some really good ones. The ones I like the best, I think wind kind of feels happy, and I think he kind of feels playful, right? He's playing with the soap bubbles. He's playing with Gilberto. He's blowing them back to him. He's popping them. So wind is feeling pretty playful on this page. How does Gilberto feel about the wind on this page? How does Gilberto feel about the wind as the wind is playing with the soap bubbles? Go ahead and call it out. Yeah, I agree. I think Gilberto's pretty happy with the wind, right? Gilberto is also feeling playful. What details on this page make you think that Gilberto is feeling happy and playful? What details on this page, either in the words or the pictures, makes you think that? Yeah, what made me think that was right here. It says it makes me laugh when they burst in my eyes. So the wind is making Gilberto laugh, right? Normally when someone's making you laugh, you're pretty happy to be with them. You're feeling playful, you're feeling happy and friendly, right? Nice job. Let's go to a different page now. Think about how their feelings might change. Okay, I'm gonna reread this page. We're thinking about how the wind acts on this page. How the wind acts on this page. Sometimes wind is so strong he starts breaking the trees and knocking down fences. Then I'm afraid. I run in the house and lock the door. And when wind comes howling after me and tries to squeeze in through the keyhole, I tell him no. How does the wind act on this page? Call out a good word for how he's acting. Call it out. Yeah, those are some great words that I heard. I think wind is acting pretty strong. It says that right in the text, right? Sometimes wind is so strong. He's acting strong. He's kind of acting angry, right? He's acting fierce. He's breaking things. He's knocking down fences. He's angry. He's fierce. He is strong. And how does that make Gilberto feel? How does that make Gilberto feel? Call it out. Exactly. It makes him feel afraid. It says that right here. Then I'm afraid. Nice job, Kipsters. So, Kipsters, I think we learned today that different characters' feelings and actions can affect how other characters feel and act too. Nice work. Thank you so much for helping me describe the characters in this text. Now it's your turn. I want you to think of someone that you know really well. It could be a parent, a teacher, a friend, anyone you know super well. And I want you to describe them, right? How would you describe them to someone who's never met them? Describe that person, text that to your teacher, right? So you're thinking of some good descriptive words to describe someone you know really well. How would you describe them to someone who's never met them? Text that to your teacher. Can't wait to read what you have to say, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.